Actually, one of my most viral reels on Instagram is when I said that the most important page that you need in order to scale is the thank you page, because this is a really great opportunity for you to frame the call correctly in order to speak with the prospects. Because depending on how they came in, whether you had a full funnel opt-in pages and application pages and video sales letter pages, or you had just straight to the calendar, this is going to be one of your last chances to make sure that you have the right people there and that they're actually going to show up. The funny thing is that let's say that we have this booking page, and then you have your thank you page here. A lot of people think that as soon as somebody books a call, that they're guaranteed going to show up and that they're guaranteed going to close. But it's not uncommon when I start working with a client for the first time that they have a 30% show up rate, a 40% show up rate, a 50% show up rate. And by the way, they could still be doing $100,000 plus a month with a 40% show up rate. I see it happen time and time again. But that's obviously a huge constraint that we want to identify and we want to solve. So just because somebody books a call doesn't mean that they're going to actually show up to the call. And just because they book a call doesn't mean that they're ready to work with you either. So you want to make sure that we're using the thank you page for two main things. We want to increase the chance that they're actually going to show up, and we're going to want to increase the chance they're actually going to close. Now, how do we do that? Well, let me tell you definitely how not to do that. And that's to do what everybody else does, and they just clutter their thank you page. They put 700 different videos on their thank you page, right? They have a video up top, they have a video here, then they have 60,000 testimonials, then they have images down here, then they have written text down here. It's just too much, right? You're overwhelming this person with information. I'm actually going to talk about overwhelming your prospects before a call in a little bit here, but on the thank you page, and I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of this myself. I actually used to do this when I first started my company. I would have this thank you page full of testimonials and case studies. And it wasn't until I actually ran a test. I got this software called Hotjar, and it allows you to actually analyze people that are going on your website. You can see their entire journey from when they click on your website all the way until when they leave your website. And I ran a test, and I saw that when I had this much information on the page, prospects were staying for, on average, 6 seconds. 6 seconds. So that's not even enough to watch one video, let alone the 70 things I have on the page. That's not even enough to finish reading the headlines or the instructions that I have on there, right? What I found was when I removed everything, and I literally just put 2 things on the page, the average time that people were on the page went up to 40 seconds, okay? So I don't know what that is, 6, 7, 8 times higher almost, I think, something like that. 8 times higher by removing things rather than adding things on there. And by the way, an average, this is the average people that stay on there. So this includes people that stay on and then they immediately close it in half a second because their dog barks or they're funnel hacking me or one of the million different reasons. So I know 40 seconds still doesn't seem like a lot, but in context of the 6 seconds, it's obviously a huge increase from that. So that's why one of the next things you want to remove from your sales funnel is a really cluttered thank you page. What I have found that works incredibly well, and we've seen a direct correlation with show up rates and close rates with this, is on your thank you page, you should typically have 2 things. One thing to increase the show up rate and one thing to increase the close rate. That is it, okay? So what do we do to increase the show up rate? Well, typically we like to put some kind of instructions here, okay? And for us, what we've learned is, after booking literally tens of thousands of sales calls, is that the prospects who respond back yes, whenever they book a call and we send a confirmation text to them, they had a 95% show up rate over tens of thousands of calls. If they didn't say yes, there was a 50-50 chance whether they showed up or not, almost exactly 50%. And so we figured out, okay, well, if we can just get the prospects to say yes earlier on, then we know who's likely going to show up, and then we can double book people on the calendar for the same slots that haven't said yes yet, right? And I'm not going to go into double booking. That's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but it's essentially so you don't have to keep on having so many sales reps. If you have a lower show rate, you can actually make it so if we know it's a 50-50 chance that 2 people are going to show up, let's put them both at the same time and see which one of them show up. And there's strategies in order to make sure that you can actually get somebody else on the call in case they do both show up, but I'm not going to get into that here. So the first thing is always instructions. We want to make it clear, hey, thanks so much for booking a call. Immediately do this thing right now. Respond back yes to the email or text that we sent you. Here's a photo of what it looks like. The second thing we want to do is we want to increase the close rate. So I told you there's 2 things we want to do. So instead of doing 800 things, we just want to do those 2 things. So the second thing is we increase the close rate. Now, how do you do that? What I have found is I like to call them sales assets, but I like to create some kind of sales asset that we put on the thank you page that's almost like another video sales letter, but it goes way more in depth. This is going to get them so we can answer some of those questions and pique some of their interest before the actual sales call itself, so they feel that they have to show up and they have to close, right? Now, one of my favorite sales assets I've ever done is Google Documents. I love any portfolio company that I have. Instead of another video, which everyone does videos, I will actually create a 20, 30, 40 page Google document with data and insights and case studies and testimonials and all that on there. And I like Google Documents because as soon as somebody leaves a thank you page, well, they're going to not see that video ever again. But if I can get them to click on that Google document and open it up in their phone or whatever else it is, well, that's still going to stay open on their phone, even if they're doing 700 things. And so next time they go look at their apps, they're going to see that that's open, and then they're probably going to read it. And it's just also different, and so that's also why people are going to read it. And at least in my industry, I know that a lot of my ideal prospects are entrepreneurs or business owners, and they actually like reading really valuable, dense information, right? They don't like, most of us are kind of tired of the short form TikTok, like the style stuff. And so I'm kind of catering to their needs there. So all you need is two things. One thing is instructions on how to actually show up to increase your show rate. And the second thing is one sales asset to get them to actually increase the close rate when they do show up.
If you want my help installing any of these systems in your business done for you, be sure to book a call with my team down below.